Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard, live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Huge show lined up today on the program. We will, of course, recap what took place Week 1, National Football League, while we look ahead to the Week 2 numbers. Monday Night Football preview. I will tell you something in 15 minutes. Then Aaron Rodgers has not done in a game since 2021. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't want to overreact, but and Nick Bogdanovich, Circa Sports, little college football as well. How you feeling today?
Great.
We wait all this time, Pauly.
Delivered.
Right? And the anticipation, the hope, you make all the bets in the summertime. You get here with the Week 1 stuff, all the contests. And a game like last night, I'm telling you, these prime time games end in chaos an overwhelming amount of times. And last night was Exhibit A. Lions up 17-3. They were bet from 3.5 all the way up to 5 points in that game. Somehow, before you know it, it's tied at 17 apiece. Eventually goes to overtime. And that was, here's where I'm confused on that result. First of all, Lions backers rejoice from coast to coast. I can't believe you cashed that ticket, but good for you. I had him actually in one of the contests out here. There's no business cashing that once it went to overtime. Okay. It comes down to the coin flip. I get that. But the final drive in overtime, Pauly, was a thing of beauty from Ben Johnson. Where was that once they took a 17-3 lead? Give me the running the football down the throats of the Rams and the creativity and the motion and the extra tight ends. And here you go. It's Gibbs and then it's Montgomery. The way they rotated the guys in throughout the game last night was mind-boggling to me.
Yep, 2-pass happy. Goff with the bad interception. You're right. Line it up, smash mouth football. It was a thing of beauty. And also how he got away from Montgomery. We didn't have any of those carries. And then, here he is in overtime.
Incredible.
And he was running angry. That was awesome. But 17-3, third quarter, you got to win that game. And had they lost, that would have been a tough one. The Rams are down 4 offensive linemen and Puka left.
Yep.
So I'm too hard on him at times. But McVay is unbelievable at getting guys open and creativity and imagination on offense with who he's throwing to and how he made it work. And that fact that goes to overtime with all the guys that are out and they have nobody on the offensive line. And great performance, great game. Even Collinsworth was fooled by the rules. Come on, Chris. You're like 5 years behind. But a game that the Lions had to have with that kind of lead and a great win and a great way to cover as well. And the over never had a chance. And that was steamed up to 54.5.
Sure. I'll give you an example of the play calling and the rotation with the running backs in Detroit. So David Montgomery's rushing prop was between 52.5 and 57.5 yards last night. He had 46, I think, early third quarter. Never heard from him again until overtime.
Yep.
When they finally realized, we have the best offensive line in football. Rams are without guys on the D line and at the linebacker spot as well, and there's no more air. Maybe we should just push those guys around up front and stuff it down their throats the entire time. And that's what they did. To your point, though, I thought McVay's scheming, the play calling, cup of the monster game, and Matthew Stafford now has been in the league for, 15 years? I would say that last year, I could argue that it was the best year he ever had. And after one game, I'm not going to make a bet on this because the number is too short. The way that he played last night, if you told me that Matthew Stafford is going to be healthy for the entire year, I think they can win 9-10 games, and I think he has a great shot to win the MVP. He was phenomenal last night in that game.
Well, big move on Allen with his performance, but you might have something there as well. And then Johnson was great, too, coming in place of Puka and stepping up. No quorum, which he was he was trending. What happened there? Talked a big game, no action. As a result of what happened to Love and the Lions win, Lions now minus 130 to win the division.
It's way too short.
I bet, yeah.
So I'm looking around at this on Saturday. The news comes out on Jordan Love that he's going to be out, whatever it is, between 3 and 5 weeks, I think was the original report. There was a national sports book still offering the Lions at even money to win the division. Now, this was before the game last night, obviously. So they lose that game, then you're like, okay, well, maybe not a great bet. But at the time, even money, and we knew then that Jordan Love, they eventually shifted it, and $1.30 in that range.
What do we say Friday? They cannot get off to a slow start. Because if they go 1-4, they're cooked because that schedule is backloaded and tough. And you can't be serious with Willis. And I know you're not a Clifford guy. They weren't either.
No.
That's why they brought in Willis. So that is horrible news, horrible injury.
Yeah.
And that was a phenomenal game, and Love was great. It was just, you hate to see that.
Yep. So there are reports they might go and get Ryan Tannehill.
You have to.
So I know we'll touch on this game a little bit more. It's unfortunate that Love's not going to play in it. Based on what we saw in one game, the Colts-Packers week 2 is a dead over. I would have played alternate overs all day long in that game, up to like 65.
Yeah.
Colts defense, not stopping anybody.
Nope.
Packers laughable. Get out of here.
Yep.
The big playability from both those teams when they're healthy. So anyway, to tie it in with that division then, what we saw yesterday in one of the early games, how long will it take to have a worse beat than for people who were on the Titans yesterday? It will happen. At some point, we'll have a worse beat than that probably throughout the year.
Really?
I'm going to say
150 yards of offense?
I'm going to say yes, but that's going to be the Titans. If you had the Titans plus at any number, losing that bet will go down this year. Here's a prediction: top 5 worst beat of the entire year.
Yep.
Caleb Williams and the Bears offense averaged 2.8 yards per play, the worst overall, the lowest number by any team in week 1 of the National Football League. He did absolutely nothing. He looked bad. And offensively, they gave you Zippo. And that's 17-3 at halftime. Here's what had to happen. Block punt for a touchdown in the third quarter. Levis fumble. And the pick 6. Folks, doing this for a long time. That's as bad as I've ever seen. Is it not?
Yep. It's okay to take a sack and throw the ball away. I saw the same thing with the Tulane quarterback. I mean, what's he doing with the shovel? I don't know if this is a real quote today. I hope it is. Callahan said we would have won the game if we just punted every drive on first down. He's right. He's right. Evan Abrams, it's 17-0. They lost the game by 7. They couldn't cover. Dogs are 4+ points to lead by 17 at any point. We're 66-1-1 ATS since 2019.
Of course they were.
Also, teams trailing by 2 or more scores that didn't have an offensive touchdown at halftime were 2 and 306. Well, make it 3 now after they get the win. So that is 150 yards of offense, 17-0, and then it's all whoop, the punt, and then what the look on his face, Levis, like, what are you doing?
Pure insanity.
How do you do that? Sanchez called it in the booth. Oh no, he could see it coming. I mean, come on.
You're a paid. We're not in college anymore here, Charlie. So you're going down to the ground like that, and you flick it with the back, like it's a back wristed flip.
Yep.
You think that's going to result in something positive? I mean,
what do you think's going to happen?
Exactly. Just chuck it out of bounds. Something. That's the last thing imaginable that you want to do.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that beat. That's 17-0. They have 150 yards. They don't score an offensive touchdown. You can't cover.
That's impossible.
It is.
Truly, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
So the Bears should be 0-1. The Lions should have a stranglehold on this division already, despite the Vikings and Sam Darnold looking really good yesterday.
You're right. Right.
And they don't, because the Bears pulled that out of their yesterday.
I know.
Incredible.
I know. Give me another one. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
But because I know you're all over this guy too. How about the still shot? If you can put that one up, Luke. The still shot on the Jacksonville game. I mean, Doug Peterson at it again. They are up 10. Look at this. It's 17-7 Jacksonville. They're at the Miami 12. There's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. The win probability is 93%. It should have been higher. Etienne's going to score. He fumbles at the 1 in the end. The next play, Hill for 80 yards.
Sure.
How do you lose that game? And then Peterson, with the lead, going for it at his own 35-yard line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, he lined up at the end of the third quarter to go for it. Then the clock ran out at the end of the third quarter. They had whatever the break is there, 3 minutes to think about it. I'm fine. If you want to go for it, fine. Whatever. He's going to go for it. At the first play of the fourth quarter, he says, yeah, we're going to do this. And my problem with this over the years, Brandon Staley, all these guys who go for it when maybe they shouldn't, whatever, it's the play calling. And to have Etienne get the ball 5 yards on what's going to try to go around the edge, you have no chance. The play is dead on arrival. There were several guys from the Dolphins defensive line in the backfield, and Etienne had nowhere to go. Why would you put a guy like that in a negative spot 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage to pick up 1 yard at your own 35-yard line? Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable to me that we're sitting here in 2024 and these are the decisions we're getting by head coaches and offensive coordinators.
Amen.
I can't believe it. I will never understand it.
Nope. And Antonio Pierce gets his own segment. In any event, that is, you can't lose that game. You're at the 12-yard line, up 10 late in the third. At least they got the money because Miami won by 3.
That's true.
But my God, I mean, that was just, Miami was sloppy early. Mistakes, couldn't get the running game going. You shut down their running game, And again, Trevor Lawrence. Okay. 17 points. But good job on Miami's defense. But that is, you cannot lose that game. It's unacceptable.
Okay, so we talked about this on Friday. Had the Bears lost, that would have been the number one sky is falling city in the entire country.
No
for
doubt,
an NFL team.
no doubt.
No question, especially looking at offense.
Okay.
They didn't. They won. Who's the number one team right now?
Cleveland. No, not
totally
even
agree.
close.
Totally agree.
They can't trade them. They can't cut them.
They're stuck.
They're stuck.
You can't play him.
You can't play him either.
He can't play.
Nope.
He should not be in the NFL. He's so bad.
Nope. Winston, I don't care. Whoever, and it's not the play calling. We know that. Mm-hmm. It's Charlie check down. Look at what he did in the first half where he was throwing the passes. Everything was 2 yards. Then he tried something down the field, and he threw it out of bounds by 10 yards. I mean, it's not because you came in. This is a 2-time coach of the year. He knows what he's doing.
He does.
You saw what it looked like with Flacco. Mm-hmm. This guy is cooked. He's awful, and it's panic time.
Yep.
I mean, they never had a chance. Throw out the numbers. They're all phony. It's like Bryce Young. It all happened in garbage time. It's a total debacle in Cleveland.
I thought the Cowboys, when it was 7-3, they were an in-play dream yesterday. And I laid like $2, as high as $2 with them at one point.
Yep.
He wasn't going to do anything.
He wasn't.
The Cowboys defense looked legit on top of it. That guy, based on what we've seen, again, folks, it's the year is 2020, the last time he did anything. 2020, misses the next year, came back with the Browns for a couple games. What has he done since he came back to ever give anybody a look and say that guy's actually, he belongs in the NFL?
It was the worst game for a quarterback in 30 years of a guy that had that many pass attempts.
Well, I buy it.
Yes.
I buy it.
Yes.
Up next, Monday Night Football preview, and I will tell you, it's a very obtainable number for quarterbacks on a weekly basis, but Rodgers hasn't done it in a game since December of 2021.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I'm very excited for this Monday Night Football game that we have in San Francisco. The 49ers hosting the Jets. Point spread movement from the summertime and also today down as low as 3.5 earlier at a lot of spots. Now the 49ers are sitting as a 4 or 4.5 point. Shop around as always. Point favorite in this game tonight against the Jets. The total is around 43. I personally, in one of my contest plays, I'm in the super contest and have 2 in the millions. In the 1 millions entry, I need the Jets to go 4-1. So here's the way that I'm personally going to be approaching it tonight. I also have a parlay, Jets money line parlay to USC over LSU from 2 weeks ago. What my hope is, I hope the Jets get out to an early lead tonight, and I want to come back on the 49ers if I can catch like plus 3.5 at some point during the game. That's what I want to look forward to.
I'm nervous. Based on what happened with Kirk Cousins, I don't know what you're going to get out of Rodgers tonight. Kirk Cousins could not move. So what mobility does Rodgers have?
He was a total statue yesterday.
What does Rodgers have left? I got great numbers on Cousins later coming up, but that's a problem number one.
Good observation, Pauly.
So that's big. Now, San Francisco, there had to be a fall guy. You get beat and you blow it in the Super Bowl again, so now we have a new defensive coordinator. But I think the Jets' O-line is going to hold up here, and that they've revamped and fixed, and maybe you don't get a serious pass rush out of San Francisco. It starts up front. It also starts with Hall. And I think he's in for a big year. And the fact that the guy had 1,000 yards rushing and 500 receiving with those horrible quarterbacks, he's your guy. Feed him. And the bromance with Wilson. Oh, I add Williams now too. So I love that. And I love the weapons that Rodgers has. But first things first, what does he have left? And can they protect him, which I think they will. But I don't know if he can move because that was alarming that Cousins was a statue and not one play action in the entire game. And every time they lined up shotgun, they threw the ball. Atlanta Falcons.
Might have to make a move to Michael Penix sooner than you think. If the guy can't move back there. I will say this. That was a typical Steelers win. Now, I'm going to tie in both those teams. I'm glad you brought that up because of Kirk Cousins, but I'll mention this about the offensive line. Everywhere that I look this year, for people who grade units on every team in the league, Atlanta was graded out as like an elite offensive line, one of the best in the entire game. They were completely dominated by the front of the Steelers. Maybe no surprise because the Steelers front, TJ Watt, so good.
TJ Watt was ridiculous.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
So I bring that up because I'm looking at Mike Clay's ratings. I'm looking at Warren Sharp's ratings. Others, they have the Jets offensive line. This caught me off guard, several months ago when I was looking at this stuff. Top 5, top 6 in the entire league. Top 5 or top 6 because of the additions they made in the offseason. If it holds up like that, the 49ers front can be very aggressive as well and very good overall. But if they can hold up, then maybe it won't be an issue tonight. And to pay off the tease overall, Aaron Rodgers played in all 17 games of the 2022 season. He threw for 3,695 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 INTs. The most passing yards in any game that year, 291 in a loss to the Lions. The last time Rodgers threw for 300 yards in a game, a 45-30 win over the Bears on December 12th, 2021. I get it. He missed all of last year. But again, he played in all 17 games of 2022, never threw for 300 yards. His prop is between 234.5 and 235.5 tonight. He went over that number only 5 times. Only 5 times did he have more than 234.5, 235.5 yards passing in 2022, his final year in a Green Bay Packers uniform.
Yep.
I thought that was stunning.
Very good. He has won 10 in a row on Monday Night Football. Do with that what you want. But the thing I mentioned about Hall, he was also on a pitch count last year. So
that's right.
He's going to go off and eat too this season also. And I can't get this out of my head how bad the San Francisco defense was in the Super Bowl, in the NFC title game, and against Green Bay.
True.
So see if Rodgers can take advantage through the air. And then the other thing is it's a nasty Jets defense. What can they do against the San Francisco offense? And I think you're going to get some rust out of Ayuk as well.
I think so.
You saw what happened with Cincinnati with that mess with Chase, but also with this, we're going to trade you to Pittsburgh. Okay, I changed my mind. I'll stay with the 49ers. We'll get a deal done. And what that'll look like and these guys were in and out with the holdouts and Williams and Ayuk and what that'll look like. And then the sad news about Pearsall too. So
yeah. On that note, we had a professional sports bettor reach out to us and say he was looking to play Ayuk under everything tonight. Because of, obviously, the possible rust angle, been out of camp, only came back recently to the team, and he's taken on an elite secondary. But the numbers this is already accounted for. So he didn't like what he saw, so he was staying off at the time. I will give you this, when it comes to first touchdown scores in the game tonight, at any time, McCaffrey's as high as, minus 180 you saw?
Yes.
To score a touchdown tonight? He's I think I saw plus 350 to score 2 touchdowns. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
well, you can run. That's the thing, though. The Jets were number 2 pass defense last year, but they were 25th against the run.
Right.
They had issues against the run. So, can San Francisco take advantage? Will they take advantage? That remains to be seen. But that's the way I would attack it if I'm Shanahan.
So, because of Shanahan's play calling ability, and obviously they have tons of talented offense, the 49ers scored the first touchdown in the regular season. They scored the first touchdown of the game in 13 out of their 17 games last year. Overall, McCaffrey scored San Francisco's first touchdown. Not in the game, but San Francisco's first touchdown of the game 9 times last year. So they would get down to the goal line often and feed him quite a bit. Ayuk and Samuel did it 3 times. On the flip side for the Jets, Wilson scored twice last year. But what does last year have anything to do with this year? You're going from the worst quarterback you're ever going to watch to Aaron Rodgers and a question mark with him.
Yeah.
But Breece Hall did score the Jets' first touchdown of the game 6 times last year. And he is plus 115, plus 120 in that range to score a touchdown tonight anyway. He's plus 650 to score the game's first touchdown.
Okay.
Can you expect, you love Garrett Wilson overall.
Right? Big year coming. If Rodgers stays healthy, enormous season coming.
So
I'm here for anything, by the way. 100 catches, 1,500 yards, 12, 14 touchdowns. I'm here for all of it.
Now, let me ask you this, though. Are you going to be betting anything with Wilson tonight, or do you need to kind of see what Rodgers looks like
I
first?
have to see what Rodgers looks like. I want to make sure the O-line can hang in there as well. Can I interest you in the opening kickoff to be a touchback?
Of course, yeah, I'm listening.
How about that? Yeah, okay, $1.40 now. Got a minus, but how things have changed, huh? Plus 280 cashed opening night. 70-cent move, plus 220 cashed Friday night. And then you saw 19 of the 24 kickoffs of the first 2 games were touchbacks. So now we went from plus 280, now we're minus 150 in these games, and it's minus 150 tonight.
Another dream scenario.
They didn't account for this. They didn't know how to put a number up on it, and they were just assuming, okay, well, team's just going to pound it through the end zone. We're going to start at the 30.
Okay, so what is it going to get to, by the way, if this continues to happen by week 3, week 4? Minus $3?
Our team's going to change, or
I don't know. What do you think of the new graphics they put on TV during these games?
I like it.
The zone.
When you see the zone, I like it.
Very colorful.
Yes,
a lot of action going on.
Yeah, there is. Okay, it's good. I don't mind it. Right, it's a great matchup, and I'm rooting for the Jets. And we have them on futures, and they haven't made the playoffs since 2010. It's the first time. Oh God, what was it? First time since the early 2000s. I think they're favored to win the division. So this is right there for them. I mean, you see, Buffalo has issues. Josh Allen had to be Superman to win that game.
He did.
And I love that everyone eats, and he spread, I think, 11 different guys caught a pass.
You were right with that.
I love that. But
I lost the Shakir bets because of that.
Okay, yeah. But in Miami certainly struggled, but it's right there for the Jets, and this is big. This is enormous to start 5-0, to start 6-0. Their schedule is so easy after this. It's something we also threw out there during the whole summer. What if the Jets are impressive, win the game, and the Bills struggle? Yeah. How many times are the Jets going to be underdogs? So it's a great way to start the season, and it's a tough game. And I don't necessarily agree with the under money either. Because there's so many skill position players are unreal in this game.
They are.
So many weapons. And I know he's always hurt, but Williams is good. That's another weapon that Rodgers has as well.
Right. So why is it that when I'm thinking about what Purdy's going to look like tonight, I cannot get that primetime game against the Ravens out of my head from last year?
Flush it. Got to flush it.
Are you sure? Because the Ravens' defense is very similar to the Jets' defense in terms of overall playmakers and how good they are. I think the Jets are the best defense in football. Yeah. But with an absolutely elite secondary.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that gives me pause is Hackett. He's terrible.
What about the Hackett-Rodgers combination?
Yeah.
Does that...
They have a good rapport, but still,
right,
it's
sure.
like how much... I want Rodgers dictating and calling things and overruling him. I don't want that. Like what happened in Green Bay. McCarthy, get out of here. I'm running the show. But that gives me pause too. But no defensive or special teams touchdown. Longest touchdown under 37.5 yards, even though there's a lot of talent on the field. I still like that. Opening kickoff to be a touchback. And Wilson should get over 60 yards. He should. And that's like $1.20 at DraftKings. Yeah. That should happen. Hall's 4-1 to get 100 yards. He's 60. He's 140 to get 60 yards.
I might be betting him to score an anytime touchdown tonight at plus money. I mean, we're so high on him. We have him on several tickets. Offensive Rookie of the Year. We have him on that bet. 1,000 rushing and 500 receiving.
Yep.
So I mean, to score a touchdown tonight in the first game of the season, I think he's going to have some opportunities there.
How about Williams? $1.25 to have 25 yards? Come on.
Well, he might catch the first pass of the game for 14 yards and then leave.
Well, I'll trust Rodgers in the offense though with that one. I mean, if you're going to put an emphasis on Wilson, as you should.
Right. Up next, we'll start dissecting Week 2 numbers. Somehow, some way, they made him look worse than last year. Probably not it's not a good litmus test. However, for their Week 2 opponent overall, we'll get into that coming up and Follow the Money is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, as we move ahead here to Thursday Night Football, the Bills get the Dolphins. Huge game. Opening number, Miami -1, ballooned up to 2.5. Now it's available at various numbers across the screen. 1.5, 2, maybe 2.5. Josh Allen dinged up the left hand yesterday.
Yep.
Is that going to affect his play whatsoever?
Tough call. Don't know.
I will say this. I made that point about Matthew Stafford earlier on today. He played so well that he could be in the MVP mix. If Josh Allen plays the entire year, they win 10 games. He's going to be tough to beat out.
He was Superman.
He's going to carry the entire offense.
Yep. Leaky defense, though. And Marvin Harrison's wide open for the game-winning touchdown. Murray missed him. So great game, great matchup. Let's be honest, Miami was sloppy. They had to deal with a lot of distractions. I hope Tyreek Hill sues for what happened, what they did before the game. But, and Tua lit them up at halftime as well. I mean, you couldn't get the running game going. They were sloppy with the ball, but they got out of there with a win. So, boy, that total's tough, too. I was impressed by the defense. That was an excellent job what they did defensively. And then you'll get a lot of moving parts, a new defensive coordinator coming over as well. So first things first, got to see about Allen. It's big. It's not like Cam Rising. It's not the throwing hand. But I would think Miami should be able to get going and get what they want offensively after what Arizona was able to do and take out that 17-3 lead yesterday.
Early thoughts here on a Monday afternoon. I like Miami in the game.
Okay.
They did have 400 yards of offense, only scored 20 points. The running game, like you said, 6 guys. If you can find that prop, how many Miami Dolphins players will get a carry in a game? Mm-hmm. That's going to hit 5 or 6, I think, at a lot of these spots. But look at what happened. Again, Tua, more than 300 yards passing. Waddle and Hill each went. You can keep Hill down for a lot of the game, and then it's Randy Moss.
That's right.
There's one catch, 80 yards, bam, completely flipped the game like that. Mm-hmm. You're right. Harrison was wide open. He had one catch for 4 yards in that game, so the Bills did a good job on him overall. Miami Again, moved to 2.5 yesterday before the game, came back down, and then it's going back all over the place, but it's kind of in that no man's land right around the money line, below 3 at this point. I would say this, good job with the balance with the Buffalo offense. 232 passing for Josh Allen, $130 on the ground. And they had to come out of a gigantic hole falling behind like that. It was a big deficit to overcome early in the game, and it took a long time to do it, but they finally did.
Survivor sweat, no doubt.
Yeah.
How is Jeff Darlington right there for the Scheffler and the Tyreek Hill
Both
thing?
of them.
How can that be?
Both spots.
Unbelievable. It's 1,000,000 to 1. He's right there.
That's all I thought about yesterday. I didn't think of the Jeff Darlington angle, but it has Scotty Scheffler written all over it again.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's incredible.
Jeez.
Throw him to the ground. And, come on.
You like anybody here in this game early, Monday, looking ahead?
Which game?
The Dolphins and the
Dolphins.
Bills.
Oh, no opinion.
No opinion?
No. Tough game. I got to see what happens with Allen. He should be okay, but that's such a short turnaround, and you never know with this. A lot of guys are so banged up, and what's going to happen with the severity of that injury?
Okay, so I think this next game's a fascinating handicap.
Yes, it is.
The Saints beat up on what could be the worst team in the league yet again with Carolina. But I could also say the same thing kind of about Dallas because they beat up on a quarterback who should not even be in the league. He's so bad. The Saints-Panthers game was over with in the first quarter. Derek Carr looked amazing because he was kept clean the entire time. They only had, I think, 1 pressure on him the first 3 quarters of the game. He was 19 of 23 for 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, had a rating of 142.5. Kamara was good. Jamal Williams scored. I mean, every number you look at is just, it's disgusting for Carolina.
It was a great breakdown by Adam Chernoff, too. Excellent breakdown. But Bryce Young can't play. Terrible. The 2 interceptions again. Canales. Canales. Why did Canales get all the credit for Mayfield?
Oh, sure.
That is fascinating. How Watson stinks, and let's get out of here, Mayfield. And then the Raiders could use Carr, too. But
how is it possible the Saints made Bryce Young look worse than last year?
I know. The other Kubiak did a great job, the new OC. The other thing is the weapon that the Cowboys have. Aubrey hit from 66, and Big Mike was livid because they didn't reset the play clock, and he didn't try it from 71. He should have, because he made one out here from 66 and hit the net in the preseason. But Aubrey made from 66. The guy's automatic. What a weapon there. But still, it's just maybe Lamb is enough, and Dak's enough here, and Parsons is enough.
And the defense is still going to be really good.
Yeah, I don't trust Carr in this spot. I don't want it, because there will be pressure. There will be pressure in this one.
How about each team yesterday in that Cowboys game had 11 penalties? I think this number is going to go to 7. I think it goes to 7 in favor of the Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I know that I was laughing at Derek Carr and Dennis Allen last week, and boy, oh boy, for those people who had the Saints in Survivor or laying the 4 overall in the game, that was the easiest bet of the entire weekend. Yep. Again, that game was over with in the first quarter. Carolina had no chance in that game, and it looks like at this point, sorry, but Bryce Young just has total bust written all over him. I don't know how you recover from this.
I was thinking it could be over in a high-scoring game, but it was Watson, and so I don't want to give Zimmer too much credit for what happened, but they had no answer for Parsons either.
No. So let me give you this. Globally, you can find some interesting props, one of which is Bryce Young. What week will he be benched? They put up before or after week 11. I mean, if Canales truly does deserve some credit for what happened last year with Baker Mayfield, maybe there's some carryover into this year. The guy was awesome yesterday, 4 touchdowns overall. Is Bryce Young completely unfixable? Also, how about the hubris in the preseason? We don't really need to play Bryce Young until they finally did in the final game for a little while before he was yanked. And to his credit, he actually looked kind of good. But yesterday, when it matters in the regular season, so bad. So bad, that dude.
I don't think they'll bench him, but he can't play. Watson and Jones are the guys who are going to get benched. And I know how bad the contract is, but you have playoff aspirations in Cleveland. And I just...
So you would take this
you can't watch what happened, not only in week 1 and also what happened last year, and then once Flacco came in. And just think he's not the guy.
No.
I would take the 3-1.
So yeah,
absolutely.
Here's the number on that. Will Deshaun Watson get benched during the 2024 regular season? Yes is 3-1. No is -$5. Your point about Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year. He made it work with 100 different quarterbacks last year, not named Deshaun Watson. He can't make it work with this guy. That's not a Kevin Stefanski problem. That's the quarterback. And he is bottom of the barrel awful. And it's going on 3 years now. No more excuses. I don't want to hear from anybody. The guy cannot play.
Nope.
So Danny, I don't even know who the worst guy is of the bunch.
Well, the Watson contract is the worst in sports, but Danny Dimes is getting up there too. Since signing the $160 million deal, he has 3 pick sixes and 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah,
so that's another one.
I'm not kidding. I think you got to go to Drew Lock, and I think you might have to go to him this week.
Dable's going to get whacked if this looks like
you might
this.
be onto something.
What is
there
he
with
doing with the pick six? Where is he throwing the ball?
Yep.
Come on.
Look at this.
Terrible.
Daniel Jones has thrown 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns since signing his 4-year, $160 million deal. You got to be kidding me with that. How is that not a made-up number?
Okay. Well, if he can't move the ball against Washington, then it's sound the alarms.
Oh, yes, big time.
Because that was too easy for Baker and Tampa. That was stealing.
Up and down the field.
Absolutely. And that's a tough handicap too, because Daniels didn't do anything. It was all dump offs to Robinson.
Yeah.
So
I got to tell you.
And Tampa had 3 guys injured on the defense. That's the other thing.
The number on Daniel Jones is the same before or after week 11. Before week 11 is minus 150. That should be a suitcase bet. Dayball is probably he's going to start to feel the pressure in that market, by the way. He's going to know his job's going to be on the line.
Well, no, come on. As bad as it was in Cleveland, the Giants are right there with them. Booed off the field. Yeah. Fans cursing at him. Oh, by the way, Barkley had 3 touchdowns and 100 yards.
Oh, another side note.
What are they doing with that organization?
Sam Darnold early on looked like Tom Brady. How did you allow Sam Darnold to go into your house week 1 and light you up like that? Unacceptable across the board. Then you can bet which one's going to get benched first. Daniel Jones is even money. Bryce Young plus 150. Deshaun Watson 14-1. Oh. I actually think Watson on a long shot flyer there at 14-1 might be worth a little pizza money if you can get down on something like that.
Yeah. All right. I got to go chalk there with even money, but that's.
I mean, it's going to be panic time. It's got to be panic time in Cleveland.
Yep. College NFL underway. Never been a better time to become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Make this football season your best ever with the full VSiN Pro access. Every best bet, every host, every guest. Check out the leaderboard. See who has the hot hand, the betting splits that everyone loves, the dog videos, football season special, full access through the Super Bowl 175, or the monthly subscription for $9.99. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe. Sign up. Start betting smarter today. VSiN.com/subscribe.
It's going to happen when the Cleveland Browns defense doesn't play to an elite level like last year. How can they be competitive if their defense doesn't live up to that?
It was bad, too.
From a year ago, and they have no quarterback play.
Mm-hmm. And in a tough division. I know. The other, will Russ, is that it for Russ? Will Russell Wilson start a game? Yes, $2.
Yeah, I say yes. Fields didn't do much. That was I don't know how Tomlin does it. I want him to go away.
I know. I can't stand this.
Right?
No one wins ugly games like the Pittsburgh Steelers
Every
and
year,
Tomlin. They don't score a touchdown, and they win the game.
They did nothing.
Guys, it's 3rd and 8. Fields doesn't want to throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's going to run. First down.
Yep.
God.
How? Over and over again. They took over. They had I'll break it down for you a little bit later on, but the drives they had to put together for their 6 field goals, they were set up by Atlanta the entire game. So Paul's going to recap a lot of it as well coming up next. Line moves, middle jobs, upsets, you name it. Win some, lose some coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Train wreck for the Giants. They get blown out at home. Danny Dimes stinks and Barkley 3 touchdowns in the Friday night game. That paid 14-1. First touchdown of the game, 6-1. 100 yards rushing, 4-1. The Eagles have weapons, baby. And after a sloppy start and Hurts with a bad interception, they get the win in the cover against the Packers.
Can I say pretty bad beat for those on the Packers?
Yeah, a little bit. Tough one.
Can't score a touchdown after 2 turnovers right away.
That's
deep inside.
True.
Why was LaFleur going for 2 right away in the game?
That too.
And it just so happened that the clock had that much time so they would kick a field goal and not take knees. I'd say pretty bad beat.
Yep. Reed, 2 touchdowns, 15-1. Most receiving yards in the game, 8-1. First touchdown of the season, Saints, 10-1. Most passing yards, Tua, 6-1. Rushing yards, Joe Mixon, 25-1. Beast mode. That's scary if he's going to run like that for the Texans. Tyreek Hill, 5-1 receiving yards. Most points, Saints, 25-1. Fewest points, G-Men, 14-1. Highest scoring game, Bills Cardinals, 6-1. Low scoring game, Patriots Bengals, plus 750. Safety, minus 130. Broncos had two themselves. Walk-off win, field goal at the gun. 4-1, cash it. Miami Dolphins. College football delivers every week. They're going crazy in Waukegan. They're going crazy in DeKalb. Northern Illinois. Mitch called it, that phony Notre Dame outfit. 22-1 on the money line, 12-1 first half money line. They are now 1-14 all time against top 10 opponents. Go crazy, Northern Illinois. Great job. Wow. Bowling Green, first half money line, 18-1 against Penn State. Boise, first half money line, 5-1. New Mexico State, first half money line, 6-1. Cal outright plus 450. South Carolina plus 290. Michigan State plus 260. Idaho, great call Randy McKay, who went 2-0. Idaho plus 260. St. Francis, Pennsylvania, stand up, 7-1. They routed Kent State. Louisiana Monroe plus 330. They buried UAB. BYU plus 425 beat SMU Friday night. Southern Utah plus 320 beat UTEP. Then we go to the FCS. Peekaboo. Wofford catching 17 outright plus 650. Central Connecticut State 10-1. They were 24-point dogs. They won 33-3. Wow. What? Charleston Southern catching 21, 8-1 on the money line. I didn't even see a money line on this. Drake was 34-point dogs. They won.
Wow. I'll give you one. Gardner-Webb was catching 36.5 against James Madison. Yeah. They were leading at halftime.
I didn't see a number on that. I know. One in the UFC, nothing happened. Durden by sub, 7-1, round 2. 4-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. Dreams come true. We're living proof. How about this Chiefs fan who came to town, and at Planet Hollywood, he won $1.6 million on the 7-card straight flush at Pygao. And there's the picture. Look at all those chips. That is great. You can buy his wife a gift. More carrots and Bugs Bunny. That is awesome. Congrats to him. And how about Tammy Evans, who watches the show every day? We met her after the show Thursday and Friday. She went to Red Rock down the street. She hit the 7-card straight flush also for $80,000.
That's awesome. Congrats, Tammy.
Tammy Evans. Good gal.
80 in town visiting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had the cabana there at Red Rock, and then what a surprise. Good for you. Lose some. Marshall Vatek over 48 up to 53, no good. East Carolina Old Dominion over 49 up to 54. Sam Houston Central Florida under 58 down to 53.5. Texas Michigan under 45.5 down to 41.5. Yeah, that late touchdown depends on when you bet it. Bills Cardinals under 48.5 to 45.5, no shot. Browns Cowboys under 44.5 down to 41, no shot. Sunday night game over 51.5 up to 54, 26-20. No good there as well. How about a video? Imagine you wake up and this is in your garage. He's 10 stories high if he's a foot. Look at the moose. Oh, Mitch, get out of the way. Look at this guy. You open your door to your garage and look at this fella.
Holy
looking for a snack?
Smokes.
I know. All right. Go on now. Get out of there now. He could run right up and take your whole truck out.
Of course he could.
Absolutely. Look at him. He's eyeballing it.
He could push the truck right out of the driveway on his own when it's parked.
Incredible.
How would you react to that?
I would. I go in my pants, dive in and swim.
Look at the poise on this guy with the phone.
I know. He turns around. Your lunch. Just looking around.
Majestic beast, man.
You know, you can't teach chemistry. It's incredible. I sent you this text yesterday, and you had the same. You were just having the conversation. We're running it back now on Fox. Bradshaw with the mullet is 76 and Jimmy Johnson's 81.
81 years
We're just
old.
going to run it back, huh?
I had a conversation watching at a sportsbook yesterday, big group of guys, and I was asking, like, at what age group do you think they have no idea who these guys are anymore?
Yeah.
But we were talking about the various people on TV networks, and they're just like, maybe if you're 30, you might know who they are still. Like, you might know Jimmy Johnson.
Point.
You might know Terry
like
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
If you're below 30, like, there's no chance.
No. I don't get it. Bad for the books. Friday, Indiana, 42.5 up to 45 in the over. 52.5 up to 55. 77-3. Syracuse, Ja Tech over. 57.5 up to 60.5, fell 59. Tulane from 11 down to 8.5. Should have won the game. Texas. Whoa. Can of whoop ass. 3.5 up to 6.5. What a performance.
That was awesome.
South Carolina, Kentucky under 45.5 down to 41.
How about that? South Carolina going there and spanking them.
Tennessee, 6.5 up to 9.5. That was a bad result for the books. Everyone had Tennessee. San Jose, what was up with this game? I went to a book stations property, and all this game was off the parlay cards, everything. San Jose from 6 down to 2.5, 17-7, no problem against Air Force, easy. Eagles, Packers over 46.5 up to 50. Raiders, Chargers under 43.5 to 39.5. Bad beats, League 2. Meatman had this. He's on every Thursday. Barrow, they give up a goal in the 98th minute. I had it. Come on. Northwestern, Duke under 39 or 38. Not 1, 2 overtimes to beat you and put it over. Cincinnati, minus $1.25 on the money line. They'd led 27-6 late in the third quarter and lost the game. Thanks to the tweet, we talked about, is this the worst beat of the year with the Titans? Arkansas, if you took 7.5 or 3-1 on the money line, yards were 648 to 385. 3 turnovers, and then they have the lead in the fourth quarter. They're getting the ball, and they fumble the punt.
It was total destruction. And by the way, when I said that about the Titans earlier, I meant NFL only.
Well, okay.
So that beat will certainly not go down as the number one of the entire year, because Arkansas is on line one saying, yeah, I hold my beer for a second.
Yeah,
that was worse than Tennessee.
Fair enough. Tigers A's under Friday. 2-2 in the ninth. Extra inning nonsense. 7-6 final. What if you bet Russell Wilson to start week 1 for the Steelers? Fields was 5-6 to 1. Cash it. It's not who wins the job, it's who takes the first snap of the season.
That's right. Titans
money line, Titans +4. Led 17 rip. Bears, no offensive touchdown, 150 yards of offense. The Titans led 17-0. Dogs have 4+ points to lead by 17 more at any point in the game. We're 66 1-1 ATS since 2019. That is ridiculous. And that is win-lose.
Welcome back.
Welcome back is right. Thank you to Jim and Alicia White, who brought in a peach crown and a nice card. They're from St. Cloud, Minnesota. And Alicia went to St. Cloud Tech. Go Tigers. No, it's Apollo Eagles, baby. But thanks.
Dropped off a nice gift for Sebastian.
Nice. There you go.
Very cool of them. How about this? Our buddy Jensen Lewis just texted me.
Okay.
There's a story on Pro Football Talk. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has been sued again. The latest case, arising from an alleged incident in October of 2020, accuses him of sexual assault and battery while on a date. And as Jensen added to the text, just broke, there's a path to avoid Watson's contract, possibly. It says in the story, if suspended, if one is imposed, could give the Browns a path towards voiding his remaining salary guarantee and ending the relationship. Wow.
Remember when Tony Rizzo was on, he said it was by design where they let Flacco go because they didn't want any complaining.
Yeah. They don't want the fan base there to get unruly if Watson struggled.
Because he took them to the playoffs.
I got to tell you, this would be the best thing for the franchise.
Oh.
I mean, what Watson did is just despicable as it gets, but...
Well, the whole thing's guaranteed. He's untradeable, uncuttable.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
Yeah, but he's playing like he has, you have to pay me, there's nothing you can do about it.
They probably have, the Browns probably have private investigators on the trail. Anybody else? Did it happen? Please come forward, because we can't have this guy as our quarterback anymore.
Massage? People go, you need it? You're a little tense, buddy.
Telling you what, now this news comes out, he's 14-1 to be the first one benched between Danny Dimes and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
14-1, 30 minutes ago, pizza money sounded pretty good. Sounds even better right now to me.
A total abomination. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Oh. It doesn't matter if they run the table. They can't make the playoffs. I don't want to overreact, but coming up on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.